We have a special treat for you today. We've got, I guess you could say, a guest chef with us here in our kitchen segment. And with me is Mr. Richard Wiggs, who is a participant in the Kids in the Kitchen contest, which was sponsored by the Stillwater News Press and Oklahoma Natural Gas. Richard, welcome to Oklahoma Gardening.
Thanks.
Tell me a little bit about this contest, first of all. What did you have to do?
Okay, I had to prepare 2 recipes a week. One, I have to find myself and adapt.
Okay.
And then one I could get out of the news press.
Okay. And so this lasted over, what, a 5-7 week period?
7 weeks, and we had to do only 5 of them.
So was it a good thing for you to do this summer to kill a little bit of time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very easily.
Well, Richard, you're going to make for us what? What do you call your recipe?
It's called Calico beans.
Okay, now is this one of the ones that you adapted?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
Where did you get this recipe at?
My dad brought it back from Wisconsin.
Okay. All right, well, tell us what you're going to do here. What's the first step that someone would do to make this recipe?
First, you need to brown a pound of hamburger and add in half a package of onion soup mix, and also cook a half pound of bacon.
Okay, and you've already done those ahead of time.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we put the bacon in and mix it here, or how would we do that?
Okay, we're going to save half the bacon for the top.
Okay.
Just to cover it off.
Let's go ahead and start mixing it up here, Richard.
Okay.
So that's a pound of hamburger.
Yep, the little onion soup mix.
With the onion mix, okay.
Yeah.
All right, and you're just putting that in a casserole dish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You don't want to season it too heavily,
Okay.
because then it sticks out too much.
Okay. So this is kind of the foundation of the whole recipe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to get some protein in there.
Now, would you encourage them to drain the hamburger meat, the grease out?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, what do we need to do next time?
Huh?
What do we need to do next?
All right, you need to put in the beans.
Okay.
In any order.
Now, tell us what kind of beans you've got while you're putting those in, okay?
We've got lima beans.
And you drain those ahead of time,
Yep.
right?
These are drained.
Okay, go ahead.
And we got our drained kidney beans.
Okay.
And our undrained pork and beans.
Undrained pork and beans, okay. Now, I guess some of these you would encourage our viewers, they could grow them in their garden, right?
Yeah, if you really wanted
since you're getting yours out of the can, that's great, though. But this is a good vegetable recipe, it looks like.
Oh, yes.
Okay, now what do? Do you need to start up first of all? Or?
Just start mixing this in.
Okay. So just stir it up. Okay, now do we need to start adding some of the other ingredients now?
Yeah.
Okay.
And make sure the hamburger's mixed in all these corners.
Okay. So you're trying to get it distributed evenly.
Pretty well, yeah.
Okay. What do you need next then?
Okay, then we're going to put in 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar.
Okay, and we've already got that pre-measured.
Pre-measured and packed.
Okay. Brown sugar.
Stir that in pretty well.
Okay. And then next, what are you going to put in?
Then we're going to put in a half cup of ketchup.
Okay. Now, while you're stirring that up, Richard, tell me a little bit about why you entered this contest.
There's a prize at the end.
Ah, prize. Now the truth comes out. Well, do you like to cook?
Oh, yeah. It's fun.
Now, you've been doing this for how long, though?
I think this is the 3rd year.
3rd year, okay. Well, I talked with the news editor, and she said you really are very enthusiastic about this. And she was also telling me that the purpose for the contest is to really introduce kids into the kitchen and to cooking and that kind of thing. Have you found that it's helped you out, though, or is it... a lot of people are afraid, to get into the kitchen.
I don't mind at all.
You don't mind at all. Now, I have one question before we go to the next step. Do you wash the dishes when you're finished, though, too?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay, so Mom's been helping out a little bit, too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we just put in the ketchup. Now what are we going to do?
Okay, we're going to put in about half of the bacon.
Okay.
This needs to be stirred through.
Okay. And again, that was a half a pound of bacon, and you're
putting in about half of that.
Okay. You're mixing that up real well. What do you need next?
And then we're going to put in a teaspoon of salt.
Okay. And I guess they could salt it to taste if they wanted a little bit less, right?
But the salt didn't really stick out that much. It's just for seasoning.
Okay. So you're going to put in your salt. And then what have you got next? Dry mustard?
And it's dry mustard.
Okay. And how much are you putting on there of dry mustard?
It's a teaspoon.
A teaspoon, okay. And then next is?
We got a tablespoon of vinegar.
Okay.
Any kind.
All right. Any kind of vinegar.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what that's for. Any idea?
I have absolutely no idea.
Just makes it taste good, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to stir it up real well.
Very well.
Now, tell me, what did you change in the recipe to adapt it?
Well, when I made this the first time, we did it in the microwave.
Okay.
Because our oven wasn't working. So we had to cook the whole thing in the microwave and change all the recipes around. So
okay. Was it pretty easy to do in the microwave as well?
It was just kind of like hunt and peck. You gotta get lucky. You watch it very carefully.
Okay. All right then. So now that you've got it stirred up real well, what's the next step? Do we need to put more bacon on now?
I'm gonna put the other leftover bacon.
Okay.
Just over the top, so you can see it.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, Richard, I understand too that there were over 47 entries in this contest, and it was for the Stillwater area, but we actually had some kids that were visiting for the summer that were from out of state who participated as well. So that's a pretty good number of kids that were involved.
Yeah.
And Richard, this year, what did you win after you went through? Did you get more money or prizes this year?
Yeah. This year they didn't have a cook-off. They did the very first year.
Okay.
But they didn't do the cook-off this year, so they gave all of the participants in the junior division a $10 check. So.
Okay. So it was still pretty lucrative for you, huh?
Yeah. It's
well,
worth
now
doing.
that we've got it mixed up, what would he do now?
Okay, now you would pop it in your oven for 45 minutes at 350 degrees.
Okay, and Richard, while you're doing that, we're going to show him the finished product over here. And he's got it displayed here nicely, and it looks quite tasty. And Richard, we want to thank you for joining us on Oklahoma Gardening. And I think, Richard, it's a good example of him and getting other kids involved. So thanks again, Richard.
Thank you, too.
We hope you've enjoyed this classic from the Oklahoma Gardening Vault. Remember, even though these tips and techniques are timeless, there's always something new to learn in the world of gardening. By subscribing to both Oklahoma Gardening and OK Gardening Classics, you'll have access to a wealth of gardening knowledge, both classic and contemporary.